Whether you're conquering professional exams or personal milestones, we welcome you to Beyond Clean's Confidence Certification, the 52-week test prep podcast series. With expert insights, actionable tips, and engaging discussions, we'll break down the toughest concepts in sterile processing and build your confidence every step of the way. Join host Sarah B. Cruz as she embarks on a mission to help you not just prep for tests, but craft your success story. And now your host, Sarah B. Cruz.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to Confidence Certification, a 52-week test prep podcast series to equip you to take your sterile processing career to the next level. I'm your host, Sarah B. Cruz, and on this episode, we're affectionately calling it Fail, Fail, Fail. This is my testing story. I figured what a better way to start the 52-week, episodic series starting with my story. And when I say that I failed my test 3 times, that doesn't mean that I passed on the 3rd. That's right, folks. I failed 1, 2, 3, and actually landed it on the 4th try. Haha. But seriously, welcome to the show. And as the title points out, we're going to discuss things all test prep. We really want to help build that confidence for your certification journey, and everybody finds sterile processing their own way. I personally found sterile processing, well, I guess you could say sterile processing kind of found me. I was a vet tech and I wanted to get better at my sterile technique because this neurologist that I worked for had a favorite ronger, and the doctor would not do surgery without this specific ronger. So we were constantly flashing it. I know, I just dated myself. I just said flash, but that was the term at the time. It was all the rage, right? So we would constantly flash this ronger for his cervical myelopathies, hemilaminectomies, craniotomies on these cats and dogs. And there was just something about the process that really it didn't sit right with me. So after looking into it, I realized that there was an entire sterile processing industry, which we actually called Central Sterile Services, or CSS. Whatever you call it, I was going to go to school for it. And when I went to school for it, I realized that, wow, this is everywhere. This is actually in human medicine. I know, human medicine, right? But after learning all about reprocessing, sterilization, appropriate cleaning techniques, and decontamination, I realized I wasn't going to stay in the veterinary field. At the time, I also really needed health insurance, and that was not provided in my field. And hospitals sure definitely had some health insurance, and I was going to get me some. So as you can see, how we find sterile processing or how it finds us varies from everybody. And that's just the beginning of my educational journey. Now, I had the luxury to go to a sterile processing program. I went to a college program at my local community college. It was probably one of the only ones out of like 3 in my entire state. There's now so many sterile processing programs, which I am fortunate enough to actually teach. So it's been a huge journey. But at the time, there was really only 1 to 3 options you could take. Now, I know a lot of us out there may be doing self-study, may have been in the field for a little while, and now you have to get certified. And that's actually where my story brings us. I had gotten a job out of my sterile processing curriculum. And in my state, it's required to get certified within the first 2 years of hire. Now, as you can tell, failing the test 3 times and finally taking it and passing it the 4th made it a very tight 2-year window for me trying to get certified before I lost my job, essentially. So as you can see, testing 4 times within a 2-year window really made it tight to make sure that I passed so I could keep my job. Now, what kept me going and all the different steps that I took or didn't take to get me there, we'll discuss after this short break. It's time for our mid-episode confidence boost, where we focus on a key sterile processing test concept. Now, there's no guarantee these concepts will be on the test that you take, but they are key concepts to the workplace and discussed in the literature. Today, we'll be covering dynamic air removal versus gravity displacement. These are specific to steam sterilizers or autoclaves. Dynamic air removal is a process used in pre-vacuum sterilizers and steam flush pressure pulse, or SFPP, sterilizers. It requires an ongoing sequence of steam flushes and pressure pulses to remove the air from the autoclave and inject the steam. These are big purges of air removal through a drain in the autoclave. I like to describe this type of air removal in a steam sterilizer as pretty aggressive. If you think about it, it's sort of like putting on a corset. When you tighten the strings, you have to take a big deep breath and you go, and then you pull the strings really tight. And then you pull the strings really tight. So every time that big purge is happening, the air is being pushed down aggressively to the drain and the steam is being injected forcefully to try and make those ideal conditions for sterilization. Now, gravity displacement, not nearly as aggressive as our friend dynamic air removal. All right, guys, I try to call this the passive aggressive steam conditioning cycle, right? This is designed for equipment or instrument that can't handle the purges and air removal that are happening in dynamic air removal. Like breast implants, if you put them into these huge, big, deep vacuum pulls, they would literally pop. Okay, so gravity displacement definitely has its place in the sterile processing space, whereas dynamic air removal is probably more preferred in a lot of the spaces because it's faster and your instruments dry quicker and more effectively in it. Gravity displacement is really just the steam is being injected into the sterilizer and the air is kind of eventually working its way down out through the drain, just because steam is heavier than air. So as the steam starts to come into the autoclave, it's just pushing it down towards the drain and it'll eventually work its way out and then the cycle will get started and the destruction of microbial life will happen. That's going to wrap this week's mid-episode confidence boost. Don't forget to pass that test with confidence. Hey everybody, welcome back. So as we were talking about before our break, we were talking a little bit about what brought me into sterile processing and what I was facing as I was trying to get certified in sterile processing. At the time, I was working while I was trying to study and pass my test. Despite going to a community college-based program, I personally suffer from testing limitations. ADHD, hyperfocus, imposter syndrome, just to name a few. I really struggle with memory retention and it causes a lot of anxiety when I take standardized testing. It's always been an issue for me. So when I took the test the first time and failed initially, I did take it very lightheartedly. I didn't really do any additional work after the schooling. I kind of rested on my laurels like, I didn't even study mentality. I went to the school. I didn't need any additional support, right? Wrong, because I would have passed the first time if that was the case. The second time I failed, I was thinking, I should probably readdress how I'm going to study because now I'm running out of time to pass in my full-time job. And the second time I failed, I didn't even tell work that I failed. I just kind of hoped that they wouldn't ask me, and they didn't. So we kind of flew under the radar with the second flop, dare I say. And during that time, I was like, okay, I really need to start looking at some of the notes I took in school. Maybe there's some flashcards available that I can use. Let me try and cram some of this study in before the next test I take. So then the allotted time went by. I took my test the third time. Shocker, failed again. I was extremely frustrated at this point. I was feeling a lot of anxiety, and I was also in my first sterile processing job. And as many of you can relate already in the field, that first 6 months, you're learning so much. all at once. And I was honestly not a great tech the first 6 months in my first job. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no natural quality that was required of a sterile processing technician. I didn't know how to read a count sheet. I didn't know how to load an autoclave truck. So when I was learning how to do my job, I was also trying to remember why I was doing my job and what they taught me in school. So it was really overwhelming. So now this third fail, my boss had asked me, hey, did you pass your exam? And I told her no. And she had to have this serious closed door talk with me, right? You know, they call you into the office, they shut the door and they're like, listen, you realize how serious this is, right? And at that time, I really only had one more chance left. I'd also like to point out that I was paying for all of these exams to fail them, and not necessarily me. The third time, my significant other paid for the test, and the previous two, my Nana had paid for the test, and she had an ongoing tab of IOUs for Sarah B. Cruz, let me tell you, and she was going to collect. Nana was going to collect. Significant other, not so much. He had my back in a different way. But when I took the fourth test, and I passed, it was at that moment that, one, I cried. I literally sat in the car and they told me that I had passed my certification test, and they were able to tell me before I left the testing facility. So that means I really pass, because when it's really close, they're like, we'll call you, you know? So it was really nice to find out that I had passed, and I sat in the car and I cried because that pressure had finally been alleviated. And I felt very certain in my job now and in my own job security and in my own personal self-worth. And I wanted to, first of all, celebrate, but then I knew I needed to take an inventory of what worked this time and what didn't. And that really set me out on this mission to make sure that when we are taking our certification tests or getting ready for our tests, that we have tools to confidently test, confidently get certified. And a lot of the times when we are trying to pass exams and we're not doing well, we default to this idea of tips and tricks. What can I memorize and shove into my brain and hold into my brain for as long as possible? When for a lot of us, that doesn't work. So when we're constantly in a space that is saying, I didn't even study, or you don't even need the book, I used practice quizzes, I want to challenge that during this 52 weeks to show you that if you're not in that space, that's okay, because there's real tools out there that you can utilize to help you take your certification test confidently. And this fourth time that I took the test and passed it, my time and my study was so purposeful and clearly had intent behind every action I was doing. And I'm going to spend this time going over some of the things that I did in this study. And then we'll also be talking to a number of industry professionals that may have struggled in their certification testing. And of course, we're going to be having my work BFF, Bobby, on the show, and he's going to talk about what it's like for him to be certified and what it's like to be a leader in the sterile processing space and watching professionals try to get certified. So the Confident Certification podcast is literally all about you. Okay. And as we begin to wrap our time together, I have a little homework for you. I know. Ew, homework. Come on, Sarah. Like, this is a podcast. I'm not doing any homework. Hear me out. I need you to assess your test-taking foundations. And a lot of you are saying, what does that even mean? Well, don't worry. We're going to be spending time together, so we're going to figure out what your test-taking foundations are. But I need you to think back to a time, the last time you took a test. I know I don't want to date myself, but, for a lot of us, it's been a really long time since we've taken a test. But are your test-taking foundations strong enough to support your career ambitions? What about your department goals? or even your professional aspirations. Why do you want to get certified? That's going to be a crucial part for any progress you make and any type of determination that you have in achieving certification confidently in sterile processing. And I need you to write this down because there's power in writing down why and why not, or what you're scared of in your certification process. Obviously, you're looking for tips and tricks and little ideas about sterile processing certification and getting ready for it, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right? I'd like to think it's because you want to hang out with me all the time, but let's be real. We got to make sure we're spending the time on the things that we want to do and want to achieve. Yeah. So I need you to write down why you want this and what you're scared of the most. And please go easy on yourself here, okay? We are going to use this time to make a process that works for you and provides sustainable practices and some helpful tools and progress to your goals. But you got to go easy on yourself. I won't be surprised if all the reasons why you're scared are like 10 times longer than the list of all the reasons that you aren't. But remember to give yourself some grace. And remember, in this podcast, we're not just going to talk about the philosophy of testing, okay? This isn't all willy-nilly. Like, we're going to make real, tangible ways for us to push ourselves academically in the sterile processing space and become certified professionals. And maybe you're just learning about sterile processing. You know, maybe you stumbled upon Beyond Clean's podcast and me today because you are already in a certification class at your local community college. Maybe you're already in the field and they're asking you to get certified in your facility. Maybe you're ready to take on multiple certifications. You're ready to get a little bit more of the alphabet army behind your name. Confident certification makes space for all types of sterile processing professionals, despite where they are in their professional development. And I am really excited, and allow me to welcome you to the podcast. And I'm looking forward to spending my time with you. And I'm excited to be a part of your test prep journey. And I can't wait until you guys kick in the door of that testing center because you're so confident and you're like, yes, I am here and I am ready to get certified. And that's going to do it for this week's episode. For more sterile processing education and resources, make sure to visit beyondclean.net or follow Beyond Clean on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to check out over 1,000 SPD-related videos at youtube.com/beyondclean. If you have any questions or comments for the show, you can reach out to info@beyondclean.net. Finally, make sure to download the Beyond Clean mobile app on the Apple and Android app stores so that you don't miss a future episode of any of the other awesome Beyond Clean podcasts. My name's Sarah B. Cruz, and you've been listening to Confidence Certification. Until next time, keep fighting dirty and pass that test with confidence.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast series are of Sarah B. Cruz only and do not represent the companies she works for or collaborates with.